So apparently Snoop Dogg is scared to go see new movies because of all of the forced LGBTQIAIM bullshit. Let's talk about it. Okay, so I want to get into that and a whole lot more, but before I do, this is your reminder to please subscribe to this channel. It really does mean a ton to me. And also give the video a thumbs up while you're at it. You've already clicked on it. You might as well go through that extra effort. And if you want to check me out on any of my other social medias, they are linked down below. I post shorter form content on all of that stuff. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you check it out. Why not? And without any further ado, let's dive in. Okay, so judging off of these headlines, you would assume that Snoop Dogg said that he is hitting his knees, praying to God to keep the gays away, praying the gay away, terrified, hiding in a basement, in a closet, lights on, scared for his life, right? That is the vibe that these are giving. That's not necessarily true. I kind of wish it was, because that version of reality sounds far more fascinating, far more interesting than what is actually going on. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at what he said and discuss it. And then we're going to discuss a little bit as to like what this phenomena actually is. Okay, let's check it out.
Grandson to see what was the movie with Buzz Light?
Toy Story?
Not that one, but
the new Buzz, the Lightyear. I think it's called Lightyear.
Yeah, with Kiki Palmer's in that movie.
Okay.
She plays like the daughter. So we watching it, and the lady, which is Kiki's mama, they move on into the space years. They move down the line. They're like, man, she had a baby with a woman. Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, shit. I didn't come in for this shit. I just came to watch the goddamn movie. Hey, man, watch the movie. They just said she had a baby. They both women's. How did she have a baby? Shh. The movie ain't over with. So it's like, it fucked me. I'm scared to go to the movies now. Like, y'all throwing me in the middle of shit that I don't have an answer for.
So having watched the clip, it's very obvious that it's just not what the media is portraying it to be. Now, to be fair, to be absolutely fair, he should possess the faculties to be able to navigate that kind of situation should it arise. But that's not the point. The point is that he shouldn't be put in that position. No adult or guardian or parent should be put in the position to have to explain something of that nature to their child when they go take them to see a Disney movie. And that's the larger problem here, isn't it? And I think that this is a sentiment that is more widely felt than I think a lot of people realize. I mean, if you look at the ticket sales for Disney movies, they are plummeting. They fell off of a cliff in 2021, and they simply have not recovered. They are hitting bomb after bomb after bomb with things like Snow White, Captain America, Brave New World, what's the new Marvels, the Thunderbolts, like all of these movies that they're putting out for one reason or another are flopping. And I just find that to be really interesting because it's becoming more and more of a prevalent issue. Disney recently came out and said that they are attempting to find movies and topics to connect with Gen Z men. And it's just, you know, the response to that online was absolutely rich because they purchased IPs such as Star Wars and Marvel, which, call me crazy, but I'm pretty sure that the prime demographic for that is young men. You know, like with every new rendition of these franchises, they are primarily targeted towards young men. And Disney decided to girl bossify all of these IPs and try and target them to young girls and women and completely destroyed them. And it's just, it felt so pointless because Disney's main demographic is young women and young girls, just at large. And so you would think that they would have purchased things like Star Wars and Marvel to kind of expand their waters, but instead they took those and tried to cater them more towards women. And it's just failed profusely. Because what they have done is almost forced the representation. Like, this is what you were seeing with the backlash against people on the right often call it woke, and it is. That is honestly where it stems from. But I think that term is so overused and people start tuning it out when they hear it. And so I think that's maybe a better approach that we could take, potentially. It's the forced overrepresentation of women or LGBTQ or whatever it is. It's forced and people feel it. Versus with older movies and older styles, that representation was still there, but it was more organic. For example, you look at Osha and May, the two twins from The Acolyte, which failed absolutely miserably. If you don't know what it was a miniseries on Disney Plus. It was an branch, whatever, of Star Wars, and nobody liked it. It was not good because these characters were underdeveloped. There was no depth to them. You had no reason to root for them or to want them to succeed. They were shallow characters, underdeveloped. They just weren't any good. And so it just felt like they made women of color the center of this film with no development. And it just leaves a sour taste in your mouth, because it's like, why are you here if not to fill a diversity quota? That's how people feel about this sort of thing. And then especially when you take that and compare it to Princess Leia, who was not there to fill a diversity quota. She was there because she was a strong leader, a well-developed character. She had growth. She wasn't strong for feminism's sake. She was strong within her own femininity, and there is a distinction to be made there. You know, modern feminism says that women can do it because men can do it, and that's not true. Women can do it because women can do it, and women can't do everything, you know? And there's a beauty to be found in owning your own femininity and being strong in that and leading with that, and that is what Princess Leia embodies. And all of these new renditions are so forced that people are incredibly turned off to it. It is their own doing. And then they turn around and blame misogyny or racism or homophobia. And it's just exhaustion. We're tired of it. We want well-developed characters. People can root for well-developed characters. People cannot root for shit writing. And you see the same kind of dichotomy in Marvel with something like She-Hulk versus Pepper from Iron Man. Like it's the perfect example of this forced masculine femininity versus a woman who is owning her femininity and leading through that. People feel the difference. They see the difference. There is a difference. And it's not just with the women roles. It's with the forced LGBTQ programming. It's with the ethnic roles. It's with the recasting of traditionally white characters as a person of color, instead of creating a new storyline that could be deep and meaningful and beautiful for that person of color. They just recast Snow White, and it pisses people off, and they're just not getting that. And I think such a great example of this is Moana. Moana is an original character. She has so much depth. She has so much growth. She's a Pacific Islander. That is a person of color. That is a minority. Everyone loves Moana. It is a fantastic Disney movie, and that is how you do it. It wasn't forced. It wasn't about her being a Pacific Islander. It was just a good story that was rooted in tradition of the islands, and it was just well done. Moana was very well done. And so that is such a good example of Disney still possesses, because it's relatively new, the capacity to create new and deep and meaningful characters, but instead they choose to repurpose already beloved characters and just make them black or make them gay or make them anything, and all it does is piss people off. And I wish that they would learn this, because it's such a stupid war to fight. Because even when they are making new characters and having them have LGBTQ elements or whatever it is, it's still so shallow, and there's just no depth to these characters. This is what you saw in The Acolyte. That is a completely original concept, but it still bombed because people could not connect with these characters. They are missing the eternal truth that these messages always have of love or sacrifice or any of these things that people connect with. They aren't giving their characters anything to that is worth connecting with. They're just saying, hi, I'm gay and black, and for that you should love me. And people just don't. It feels quite simple to me. But yeah, I mean, movies have had this underlying through line, I guess, of DEI style type messaging forever. Okay. It just used to be well done. It used to have these connecting human truths so that when you watched it, you didn't feel like you were being propagandized to. You just felt like you were watching another person's story. So it can be done. It can be done well. They're just lazy about it. And it's turning into a whole fiasco. And maybe that is why Snoop Dogg is scared of the fucking theater, y'all. I don't know. But let me know what you think. Do you think that Snoop is based in his analysis of being scared of LGBTQ propaganda in the theaters? I don't know, you guys. That's so funny to me. Let me know in the comments down below. And we will chat next time. Bye.